Hello, hello, hello. Good evening, good people. How are you all?
Hey,
Hey, Care. You look beautiful.
you can see me?
No,
My white. Just need to make
no,
sure
I
now.
cannot. I cannot see you. That was me being funny.
I, I want to make sure my start cam button isn't broken. Shit. Yeah,
You be
no.
sitting there and look in your nudie bits. With your girly part showing. Hello, hello, hello. We have some people in the building. Okay, hold on now. Stop the traffic real quick. Hello, Yolanda Johnson, who is a new member. Hello, Dorothy Thomas has become a new member. Hello and welcome. Welcome, everybody. Good evening. Patricia said, let's go. Hey, Anitra Bronson, how are you, love? Thank you, Luz, for sharing. She said, my code is checked. Hey, Darlene. Yes, please go ahead and hit that like button. Thank you so much. Thank you all. Carrie, how are you doing this evening?
I'm
Hello?
good. I'm good.
You're good? You're
I'm
good?
looking for
That's
my cell
great.
phone right now, and I'm feeling kind of awkward because I don't know where I put it.
Wait, what are you doing? Where are you at? You have your earbuds in?
No, I'm on my laptop, but I'm feeling
Oh,
lost because my phone is not near me.
oh, okay.
So excuse me for a moment while I go search for it.
Okay, no problem. No problem.
Oh, I found it.
Oh, that was
Okay.
quick. You didn't even have to
Yeah.
do find my phone or whatever you iPhone people would be doing.
Yeah, I think my bad eye must have missed it.
Oh no, don't talk about that. It's gonna be all right, bestie. It's
I
gonna be all right.
just have to wait.
So I'm just waiting for a couple more people to join the live. What's the weather like up there where you are?
Hot as Hades today, but it's supposed to be like some thunderstorms possibly tonight. So,
Mm-hmm.
you know, the type of weather to ruin your hair.
Listen, I went and got my hair curled today. I was cute. It lasted for a couple of hours and I wasn't even outside. Like the most I left from when I left the salon, when I was talking to you, I went to the mall. I got out of the vehicle in the garage, walked into the mall from the garage, which is literally like less than 10 minutes, probably about five. And I was in the mall for several hours doing what I do. And it still was like, what the heck? I mean, it just fell.
I told her
It
don't
just
even curl
fell.
mine today. So don't even bother.
Yeah, she was actually going to flat iron it. But here's the thing. I was like, well, the only reason that, I would have her flat iron it, I mean, I want her to do things for me that I really have a problem doing myself. I can flat iron my hair, but curling it, child, that's a whole nother story. That is a whole nother story. So it got up to the triple digits here today. Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah. It was hot. It was hot.
we've had a relatively cool summer here, but I would
Hmm.
say in the past week and a half, it's been acting like, you know, hot, humid summer.
Yes. Hey, Dominique. Somebody said, hey, Carrie.
Hey,
Beverly said, hey, Tay and Carrie. Melody
hey.
is like watching two of your favorite shows. It's like watching two of your favorite shows. Hey, Nancy. Child, did you hear about that lady in Georgia that got Amazon for all them good coins?
Yes, she going
Woo!
to good jail too.
Man, when I say that's not the kind of life I want to live for 16 years.
Nope, it was worth it.
Uh, I was
Scammers go to
like,
jail.
my goodness. I said, my goodness. Yeah.
Mm-mm.
Or- I was just talking to my grandmother about it. She was like, no, I didn't hear about it. I just watched the news today. I said, well, ma'am, it was all over the news yesterday and the day before and all that stuff.
Mhm.
Um,
Well, she
I
went to
said,
work and like she was going to work in luxury cars and like
right.
just
I mean,
flaunting it
now
in front
I
of their
would
face.
expect me, look, now I would expect me to show up in the Panamera, my Jeep, you know what I'm saying? But I mean, it just depends on what you're doing. And unless, I mean, but to do all of that at one time, you're supposed to gradually introduce people to that stuff. You cannot just go out there and do that like that. Not the Lambo.
Yeah, there was a colonel that I used to work with, and he was embezzling upwards of $40 million, and
Wow.
he was buying people like lavish gifts and stuff at work, and like, dude, why why were you doing that? And then
Right.
they came and arrested him right there at work, not in front of everybody, but they told him to come down and move his car in the garage, and then they had the agents down there and arrested him. Clank clank.
Oh my
He's in
God.
jail as we speak.
Dang,
40
how long
million.
did he
It was
get?
on American Greed. It was on American Greed. I knew this
Hmm?
man. I was like, oh gosh. He
I
was
mean,
not a
just like
very
I
nice
knew,
person.
that's like to me what I felt when, I knew that guy who unalived his fiance.
Oh
And
yeah.
I mean, not his fiance, but his girlfriend, pregnant girlfriend, and the ex-wife. Like,
And advanced practice nurses at that.
what?
Like,
It, speak on it. Speak
yeah,
on it. And so, it's definitely true that money is not everything. It is not. You have to have a sound mind. You have to have good judgment. And oh,
yeah. I
and
remember that. That was here in
that was
Maryland.
in your area. Yep.
Yeah.
And
And the one that became unalived, um, she went to our school.
yes, I think actually all three of them did.
Oh, did they?
All three of them did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's sad. Yep. Went to our school.
Yeah. Hold on just a second. Um, you know what? I just realized I wasn't supposed to be using this phone. Hold on. Why did I do that? I was supposed to write something else and put the link in there and forgot to put the link in there. Mm, it's me. It's not you. How's my buddy Rob doing?
Good. I haven't talked to him in a minute. I mean, other than like little messages on Instagram. I haven't really talked to him.
Okay.
Good.
I saw a picture of him and somebody. I don't know. I think it was a woman. It was somewhere. I said, oh, whatever that was looked like fun.
Oh, I'm not sure who.
Let's see. Okay, I just posted what I needed to post. All right. Hello, Janelle. How's everything going, Janelle? Nope. Jill Felix, money is not everything. Nope. Jill, I am not cooking tonight. I was preparing food for tomorrow evening, but I had an issue with some seasoning, so I'll just have to go get some more tomorrow. Eula said I hit thumbs up on my way in. Then I got an okay. All right. Um, let's see. What's up, Samantha? Yvonne said, "Hey, Carrie."
Hello, Yvonne. Mhm.
Ah! All All right. That is cool. So I have some really, 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 really good news. So I'm really excited. Sort of like there's a lot of emotions going through my mind right now because now I have to get back on focus. Like I have to get back on super focus. So
Mhm.
I am just trying to, I'm having those self-talk moments. Like, okay, are you ready this time for real? Moments. So your girl is going back to school. I'm going to grad school. So checking in next month. Um, just after all this stuff is over with, and looking forward to starting something new, being a part of something new, and making it do what it do. Hold on.
Like I
So
said, the
Sharia
time has to
might,
pass anyway.
huh?
The time has to pass anyway.
Eh,
So you have
Exactly,
to you can do
exactly.
something with the time or not, but the time has to
Mm-hmm.
anyway.
Exactly. Hold on just a second, Care. Hold on, I'll be right back. I don't know if you can read the comments.
I was
Let's
kind of
see, but
multitasking.
I'll be right back.
No, I don't see comments.
Okay. Hold on. Hold on.
Oh,
Hold
now I
on.
do. Now I do. Never mind.
Okay. I'll be right back.
Okay. Hello, Janelle. Hello, Tirani. I hope I said that right. Kita.
All right. I'm back. Tyranny.
Tyranny. Oh, sorry about that.
Tyranny. What you call her?
I don't know. Don't make me say it again. I'm sorry.
Ah, ah.
Tyranny.
So, there are quite a few of you that know how Carrie and I met. And for those of you that don't, it started with a pencil. It started with a pencil. So, um, Carrie's just a super dope person. We met in, what was it? Was it 2011?
Yep.
Yeah. So, we met in 2011 and we've been friends since. Like, she's a great person, a great mentor, a great role model. I mean, I see the way she loves on her family and she loves the people in her life. And she's just an amazing person. And I'm so proud to call her my bestie, like my best friend. So,
Thank you.
yay! You're welcome. And Carrie and I did meet in grad school. I was in grad school for a clinical nurse leader program up north. And due to my personal circumstances, I had to leave the program, and Carrie stayed on, pursued it, and graduated, and then went back to school and graduated again with another master's.
Yeah, as if
Um,
one master's wasn't enough. My goodness.
well, obviously it wasn't for you. You went right on back. And before I know
Okay.
it, Carrie was in, nurse practitioner school. And then before I knew it, it was graduation time. And I was so proud of my best friend. Do you know I cannot find my clutch that I wore up there?
Oh, oh,
I
that's the one
tried
you
to find
lost?
that clutch, that pink Louis Vuitton clutch that I
Oh,
love.
no.
I could not find it when my stuff was packed up from Florida to move out here. It was
Oh,
supposed to be in that stuff, but I never happened to see it.
oh, that was cute.
Yeah, girl, I think I had my little outfit out, honey. I was pink and gray down from the
Yep.
stockings to the coat. The coat had gray on the outside, pink on the inside.
You came all the way out to the snowy Chicago for me.
I sure did, and I do it again. Now, I don't know about riding a horse up there, but I get on the train. But yeah, it was cold. It started snowing, and all that good stuff.
But it wasn't like
So,
the week before, it was in that, like, record frost,
right.
and then the frost lifted, and it actually wasn't too bad when we were there.
Mm-mm. Remember the lake was frozen and then it was warming
Mhm.
up
Yep.
and it looked so pretty. And where were we? Somewhere near a Trump Tower or Oprah something or another. I can't remember where we were.
Yeah, we were across the street from Trump Tower,
Okay.
next to what was that place that was pretty cool? The London in
Ah,
Chicago.
yes, 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 yes. Yes. So
I
yeah,
wanna
we
say
had
that's the same. I'm hoping that's the same The London that Young Thug talks about.
London on the track.
No, Meet Me at the
Oh.
London.
Look,
I don't know if that's the same one. I like to
oh,
think
there's a
so.
producer named London on the track. My
Oh,
bad. Wait, what does he say? You can meet me at the London. Let's
yeah.
see. Was you can meet me at the London based on the hotel. And then we went to that restaurant with all the really, really, really good food.
Yeah, and that's where my niece's, credit card got compromised.
Compromise. It is talking about the London.
In Chicago?
No, it's talking about the one in Manhattan.
Oh, okay.
The London by Young Thug. I remember that song. You can meet me at the. Yes. So he is referencing the swanky hotel located in New York City.
Okay.
Yes. So that features J. Cole and Travis Scott.
Mm.
So, but that hotel was really nice. Like it was really cute. We had a great time. We were so happy for Carrie. I was like, yes,
Yeah, it was
yes,
very fun.
go best friend, go best friend, go. Ah, ah. I'm gonna make a song with any and everything. So tonight, I decided to go ahead and do this live because I wanted to announce to everybody that I had gotten into school and that I
Congratulations.
thank you, friend. Listen, I'm gonna be calling you several nights, cussing about something. I'm sure. I'm sure. Carrie, why did I do this? I know that I'm gonna go through these emotions. I just know it. And there's just, it's just the expectation is I'm gonna get frustrated. I absolutely know it. I
The
do.
hardest part, honestly, I think it was easier than nursing school.
Really?
Yeah,
So
the
why do you think that? Why but what was how do you feel like it was easier than nursing school?
because nursing school, we didn't know anything, so we're learning from, a knowledge base of, a lay person, and
Okay.
then, when you go into NP school, you already have the knowledge base as a nurse, you have work experiences and things like that, so you're not starting from nothing, right? And
Mm-hmm.
so what you have to do is just shift gears because you're not nursing anymore, you're practicing medicine. So you have to think a little differently. And so once you can think about that shift, um, honestly, the hardest part is um, finding a preceptor for your clinicals. That's the hardest
Mm-hmm.
part. That was the most stressful part. Once you learn the
Really?
formula for how you collect information from a patient, and come up with your differential diagnoses and then decide on a diagnosis and treat, once you come up with that method, that process is the same each time.
Okay. So now
Same each time.
do you feel like our graduate knowledge helped you in, do you think that you had a one up on that particular situation because of what we were learning or no?
Not really. I think any
Okay,
nursing
because it
program.
was, yeah,
Yeah.
because it was a clinical nurse leader versus an actual nurse practitioner. Okay. All right.
Yeah. You're gonna
Well, that
learn what
makes
you
me
need.
feel a little better.
Yeah, you'll learn what you need to learn in your program to do what you need to do within your scope of practice. Okay,
Hmm.
so they're not going to teach you anything that is going to be outside of your scope of practice in school. They're going to teach you what you can do in your role in that program. So it's just, every condition, every patient you see is going to be different, but the method
Right.
at which you go through to derive what their diagnosis is and how to treat them is the same. The thought process of
Hmm.
how you go through it is, it's a format and you go through it. So
Hmm.
that part is actually pretty easy to pick up. You just have to let go of the thinking like
Like a
um,
nurse,
a clinical nurse and think more like a
medical
problem
nurse.
solver.
Yeah.
Yep.
Let's see. So really quick, so there may be people on here that do not know what a NP is or an APRN or any of that stuff. So I just wanted to go ahead and give you some of that definition, just in case you needed to know, so you could understand it a little bit more. And basically, what is an APRN? Um, or you may see ARNP. They're kind of used interchangeably. So it is what it stands for is an advanced practice registered nurse. This type of nurse has earned a graduate level degree, such as a master's of science in nursing or a doctorate of nursing practice, also known as a DNP, and has been specially trained in one of the four recognized APRN roles. Many RNs who hold an associate's degree of nursing or bachelor's of science of nursing and wish to progress in their careers choose to become an APRN so they can dive into a more focused nursing practice with a higher degree of autonomy. And we will definitely talk about autonomy as we move along tonight. Let's see. So there are four roles an APRN can hold: certified nurse midwife, a certified registered nurse anesthetist, clinical nurse specialist, and nurse practitioner. Um, and they also state that, like I was saying, APRN and NP are used interchangeably. Um, an NP is an APRN, and APRN isn't always an NP, as
Correct.
described above. Yes.
So many people get this mixed up and they kind of make their own thing, and it's frustrating to hear because I've had people who were not in the field argue me down about the different alphabet soups that can come after your name. And I'm
Oh,
like,
yeah.
but you're arguing me down about this and you're not in the field. I didn't know what to do with that. I had to
Just
exit. I had to exit the argument because it just didn't
Yeah,
make
I was going to say sometimes people just want to feel like they're in a position of right, regardless. Like, I'm an elementary school teacher, but yeah, you're going to tell me about the curriculum for elementary school kids, and I've been a teacher for 20 years. Like, what?
sense.
What are you talking
So
about? Like,
so we are
yeah,
definitely here. We are definitely here to clarify because it's really quite simple.
yeah,
Like when people say you got your RN degree. No, there's no degree that's an RN. An RN is a license.
right.
And so, you can have a certified nursing assistant license. You can have an licensed practical nurse, LPN license. You can have an
Hmm.
RN license. You can have a nurse practitioner license. And then you can have, obviously your license as a physician, right? So those are all licenses.
Right.
But your degrees, everybody knows the different degree levels:
Mm-hmm.
associates, bachelor's, master's, and some level of doctorate. So there's no
Right.
RN degree. You didn't get your
No.
RN degree. You got your RN license. And every license has a certification exam to go with it. So, you pass the
Let's just
exam,
already.
you get the license. It's really just that simple. There's
Right.
licenses and there's degree levels, and you can have many combinations of those. You can have one degree level and another license, and you can kind of mix those up. They
Mm-hmm.
don't pigeonhole you into, like, you have this license and you can only have this degree. There's lots of different ways.
Right. And then also on top of that, you have certifications that you can get
Yeah,
as well.
yeah,
And like even as simple as, the post back certificates to go back, like say a nurse is a neonatal nurse practitioner and she decides, hey, I'm done with neonates, I want to do psych. So instead of going to get a whole nother degree in psych, she may go back, or he may go back and get a psychiatric mental health nurse practitioner certificate,
right,
which literally doesn't really, it would be no different than if the person went back and got a degree. So sometimes a certificate is maybe a semester or a couple classes shorter than an actual degree.
right.
Um, Samantha, thank you for the super sticker, love. I appreciate it. Hey, Cantrell. I don't know if I said anything earlier. And so I then moved on to something else that, oh, excuse me. Woo, child. For some reason, my back, it is like, I feel like I just need to scratch it. Mm-mm. Um, and so um there are some advanced, excuse me, advanced practice registered nurses that specialize in certain populations. Um, and so we have family nurse practitioner, which Carrie is, and that focuses across the lifespan from 0 to 100. Oh, or excuse me, 0 to, hold on, let me, this is Carmen. Hold on just a second.
Oh, okay.
All right. Sorry about that. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. So that's across the lifespan. And I said 100, but I wasn't meaning 100. I meant until, you in your last day. And then you have adult gerontology. So when people hear gerontology, they think of seniors. It's anybody, what is it, 18 and over? Is that
Yeah,
gero?
yeah. So just
Adult gero?
basically eliminating the children.
Eliminating the pediatrics.
Yeah,
And then you have neonatal nurse practitioners, you have pediatrics, you have women's health, and then you have mental health nurse practitioners. And I feel like I need to turn this camera off because I'm about to sneeze. Oh, child. Give me a second. I think I'm about to turn my camera off too. I think it's going to get ugly. Excuse me. Ooh, bear with me, y'all. Hold tight. All right. Whew, I'm back, but I think I'm leaving that camera off for right now because I'm starting to get really nasally and really congested, and then I start looking crazy.
mhm.
Um, let's see. Carrie, what made you do family versus all the other options?
I would say just to have more flexibility. Just, I never really thought that I wanted to do pediatrics, but I didn't want to preclude myself from doing it. So I just wanted to make sure I picked one that I could be a little more flexible with.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I actually kind of feel like right now mental health is probably one of the best avenues right now, um, because we're really at this point where um, getting therapy and kind of dealing with mental health issues is less stigmatized, and so the need for providers is increasing at a fast pace. Um, so that's definitely a good one. But that one is a very specific niche, and it's not for everyone. Everyone
Mm-hmm.
definitely does not make you as versatile, but it's a growing area for APRNs.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, but yeah, family was kind of like my vision, and then I was also thinking about entrepreneurship, um, beyond that, and I just felt like family was going to give me the best option for that. So
Hmm. And I think for me, that's why I chose family as well, because I did not want to be pigeonholed into one specialty that, like for instance, I have a friend right now, she is in a adult gero program, and she was like, I don't want to deal with kids, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, well, you never know where your practice is going to take you. So, I don't know. Like, but everybody has to do things for themselves and whatever their comfort level is. But that's the same thing I thought about too. I mean, I may never work with children, but if the opportunity presents itself and it's something that I may decide, 10 years from now, hey, I want to work with kids, then at least that option is open to me. And now I don't have to go back to school to get another certificate,
right,
10 years down the road. So
yeah,
that was really important as well. Um, oh, and also all RNs with graduate degrees are not considered advanced practice registered nurses. So
correct. Because you
if
could
you're
go and yeah, because you could go and you can get a master's. Okay, so let's say you could go.
leadership,
Oh, yeah, the clinical nurse leader. That was a master's
hmm
program. You get a Master of Science in Nursing, but it doesn't make you an advanced practice registered nurse.
right. And the thing is because it's non-patient facing. So leadership, healthcare administration, those types of things.
Yeah. So I was going to do, after my clinical nurse leader program, I was going to do a postmaster's certificate for NP. But when I counted up the classes and then compared it to another MSN, it was almost the same. And
Oh God.
I was just
Was it
like,
like one or two classes short?
yeah, I mean, it was so close that for me it just made sense to just get a second master's degree,
Hmm.
because I felt like if the boards of nursing in the future change how those certificates are viewed, I didn't want to be having anything that was outdated. And I was like, let me just get another master's and just be done
Yeah,
with it.
because I remember I was like, what made you decide to do it?
And,
I
I
was
was like,
like, oh
I
child.
did everything the hard. I did stuff the hard way. I was like,
Look, I think a lot of us did, and especially because, and I don't know if it was even the hard way. I think it was just a route that was what worked for us at the
the scenic
time.
route. The scenic route.
Yeah, we took the scenic route. We took our
Scenic
time
route.
with it. We laid out a little bit, put out a little picnic blanket and a basket, had a glass of wine, watched the birds go by, the caterpillars turn into butterflies. But what I love is the fact that, we kept going.
Yeah.
So,
I did take a 9-month break. Um, because I had trouble finding a preceptor and I got frustrated and I just took a nice long break. Um, and I was just working and then kind of went back to it. Finished it up. So
It doesn't even seem like you had a break for that long. It really doesn't.
I know.
Um,
Yeah.
Thank you, Joan. She said, bless you. Samantha Forbes came through with the super sticker. Thank you so much again, Samantha Forbes, showing out. What's up, Brother Justice? I invited the missus to come on the live since she's gonna be my classmate. So Tawanza and I will be starting next month together.
Oh, she's going to? Okay.
Yeah, she's gonna go too. So we both are good, and so we will be starting a program together next month. Um, I
Congratulations.
know. Yeah, yeah, she's on here. Justice is on here. He said, "Hey, Tay and friends." Ah, and I was getting ready to say something else, and now I just lost my train of thought. I don't remember. Um, what was it?
So, oh, I do have a question for you. Maybe you'll think of
Oh,
it in a minute. Um,
okay.
will your school help you with getting your preceptors?
They will assist if I have a problem locating some on my own.
Okay. I would just start
Um,
early.
you
I
said
would
what?
start. I would just start early. Like
Yeah,
the minute you meet somebody that could potentially be a preceptor for you, get their commitment right away and just tell them, hey, it might not be till next year, but just get their just get them to commit to you and stay in touch with them about it because
right. Yeah,
it's hard.
absolutely. And yeah, because I do not know a lot of people here. So I definitely, while I'm doing all these daggone doctor's appointments, I'm hoping that I can get back into my doctor's office and kind of like, be able to have a conversation with her. Be like, hey, I'm getting ready to start school and
Yeah.
have you ever had a preceptor? Put it on a warm like that.
Yeah. And sometimes honestly, I had my sleep specialist had offered me a job before I had even finished school. So you'll
Wow.
get that too. You'll get, providers who are like, hey, come find me when you're done, stuff like that too. So definitely ask anyone and everyone because that part is hard. And then even though the schools say that they'll help you, like just don't rely on them helping you because
Right.
then you'll end up like me with a break because you couldn't find anyone. So
Right. And I think that's one of the things that my friend is going through right now is that she the one that's in school, like she switched schools. Like this is her, I think, third school. And she wound up switching schools because she had issues like with something or another. I can't remember everything, but it was something that she had issues with. And then she had signed up for that preceptor program or whatever, and she
mhm.
paid somebody like $2,000.
Oh yeah, that's a thing now.
Yeah.
It was becoming a thing as I was finishing up, and I never had to pay anyone because I finished right before it really picked up. But it quickly became
Mm,
a thing where, um, because of it's like supply and demand. Any industry,
right.
the demand was so high and the supply was like, hey, I can get money out of this. Okay, that'll be $2,000 for your, 8 weeks of, you know, preceptorship. So
Yeah. And I felt really bad. And she was like the lady, they had already like previously discussed the schedule. And then once the lady got the money, and she said she actually thought everything was good
mhm,
because they would communicate, the scheduling needs and things of that nature. They would do all of that. And then she thought everything was fine. So she
mhm,
completed her didactic portion of that class and was waiting for her clinical portion. And that's when the bomb got dropped on her that the person gave her a horrible review.
mm. That would
And
be
there was nothing that she could do, you
wow.
know, to dispute it or anything, not even with the company that she paid. I was like, oh my God.
Wow. Yeah, that's unfortunate. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, so just start early with, you know, getting people to commit to you and yeah, even if, you know, you can work out deals with your university, like, hey, can I go slightly out of my area? Like, and they'll probably be like, yeah, get it wherever you can. So
Mm-hmm.
they have to get creative um, and go other places. I know like classmates that were driving, you know, 2 and 3 hours a week just to get to, you know, their preceptor to put in hours. But, you know, it can be done. Um, definitely can be done.
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna do whatever it takes. You know what I'm saying? Like, can you hear me?
Yeah. Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay.
Someone's asking you if it will be online or in person, or is it hybrid?
It is hybrid sorta. It's hybrid sorta, but not really. It's mostly online.
Yeah, the didactic portion is easy to do online. Um, do you have to do like any like remember I had to go for an intensive session to
Yeah.
Chicago?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I have to go for an intensive also. So I think it's a 3 or 4 day intensive,
Hmm.
but that's like after you've been in the program for like a year. So it's right before you get ready to go to clinicals.
Okay. Cool. Well, that's good. I'm excited that you'll have a study buddy to go through it with you. That will be good. That'll make the time go by fast. Are you there? Hello? Tay, are you there? We can't hear you if you are.
Oh, you can't. Oh, you couldn't hear me?
Now I can hear you.
I'm
Yeah.
sitting here just talking. I'm just sitting here talking.
So
I'm like,
I think I was saying everything after I said that's good that you'll have someone to go through it with you because it'll make the time go faster.
and I was
Um,
still talking.
oh, I didn't hear anything after that.
I said, yeah, I'm looking forward to
Oh,
it.
okay.
I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to it. So Tawanda applied and hopefully she will have her answer in, maybe early next week or whatever. Um, so I think she applied like a couple weeks ago. So I'm just looking forward to it. Oh, wait, we have a guest. Hold on. Tawanda. Okay.
Mhm.
I added Tawanda to the stream. What's up, Wanda?
Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay. Hey, you're just running around here trying to help your nephews.
Oh, okay.
Hey, Tawanda.
Yeah, I was telling Carrie about you joining me on this ride.
Oh yeah, yeah. I talked to the I guess the advisor today,
Uh-huh.
and I get a 15% discount.
Love it. Love it.
But I'm
I was
excited.
trying to
So
use my brother Justice for a student discount, but
I know,
I
right? I
can't.
can't use his whole GI Bill because he about to use it.
Yeah.
But I'm excited. So the way what he told me today was
Wait,
our
hold on,
class.
Tawanda.
Okay.
Tawanda, hold on just a second.
Okay.
Hold on. Hold on.
What you need, Jody? Huh?
We don't need to hear that from Justice. All right. Sorry about that. I apologize. You know, I'm over here with these allergies, not these allergies, these nasal problems. I'm trying to get my life in order.
Oh, okay. Your surgery coming up soon, right?
Yeah, it's coming up on the hell, I can't remember the date. The 25th.
Oh,
Is
okay.
it
Oh,
the
that's
25th?
soon.
It's the 25th. It's the 25th. Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. So a couple more days.
Okay.
Did you get that message I had sent you earlier? Tawanda. Hello? Did I lose her? Carrie, you still there?
I'm here.
Okay. I don't know what happened with Tawanda. It just got quiet. Oh, I think she's there.
I'm
Tawanda?
here.
Okay.
Yeah,
Want to
Auntie
make
Tay.
sure you can hear us.
I'm here. Qmar wants to say hey to y'all.
Okay.
Hey,
Hey, how you doing?
good. How you doing?
All right.
That's good.
You talking about who is that? That's Auntie Tay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm excited. I've been procrastinating for too long.
Carrie said she's gonna be right there beside us.
Tay pushing me. Okay, well, that's good. We do know we have one possible preceptor.
Look, possibly she's gonna be in you in her area.
Carrie, what's your specialty? Family nurse
I'm,
practitioner?
I'm family. Mhm.
Okay. Okay.
Mhm.
Okay.
Look, I'm gonna be tapping into Carrie connections. Hello. Do you look? You know my best friend.
Okay.
She said a lot of good things about you. I need to be you to be my preceptor. Period, point blank. So I'm excited to start this journey with my friend. You know, like we've been knowing each other for a minute. We done ran through COVID together, camps together,
Mhm.
other
Yep.
stuff together. And it's gonna be a pleasure walking across that stage together.
Yep. And I made sure I asked them about that because I know some schools don't give you the white coat ceremony. And I want my white coat. And he said, yeah, they definitely have the white coat ceremony in San
Mm-hmm.
Diego.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll be in Cali. Yep.
No, that's
Look, you
cool.
can't say too much on here because you know these people be
Right.
all up in stuff. Girl,
Right.
they'll be to research every school on the West Coast and the
Right.
East.
Exactly.
Woo, child, doing the most.
Right.
Yeah, but I think one class every 8 weeks, won't be too tough.
Mm-mm.
Oh, that's not
Like,
bad.
I think that's definitely doable. Carrie, when you were in your program, how many classes were you doing?
I just did one at a time. It was just, yeah, it was too much to do any more than that. And I forget how long they were. I want to say they were more like 12 weeks or 16 weeks, but it
Oh,
was,
okay.
One class?
yeah, yeah, it was lengthy.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
I don't remember all the details. It's so behind me now. I'm like, whew, I'm glad it's done. But
Mhm.
yeah, I do remember them being long, definitely longer than 8 weeks. Maybe 12, maybe not 16. 16 was probably my first master's.
Yeah, 16 is like a traditional
Yeah, a
semester.
whole semester.
Yeah,
Yeah. So it was probably like 10 or
I'm thinking it
12.
may have been eight weeks because
maybe
if they
8 to 10
did
week
two
class.
classes in a full semester, so you had mini semesters.
Possibly, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It was 8 to 10. I know it wasn't 8 or less. It definitely was not. Um,
Okay. So you may have
yeah.
had a class that was longer than 8 weeks. That one may have been 9 or something like that.
Yeah.
Whew.
What was oh, I was gonna ask Carrie, what was the hardest class? Was it patho?
Mm, that one's always kind of challenging, but you have a lot to draw on, just from
From the
your
RN
like previous
experience? Okay.
nursing knowledge. Yeah. Um, the hardest class, okay, for me, I just don't like policy. I don't
Okay.
like policy at all. So I
Okay.
struggle with that one. I have no interest in it. I know it's important. I know that we need people to advocate within our own profession, for the advancements of our profession, but different things like that, especially when it comes to the full practice authority. I know that we need people out there, going to Congress and trying to get laws changed.
Right.
I just couldn't get interested in it. So I struggle with that class.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But everything else I was telling Tay earlier before you came on, the coursework really isn't difficult. You just have to shift your thinking. So you have to shift from doing the clinical nursing to practicing medicine. And so
Oh, okay. Diagnosing.
there's a different logic and thought process that goes into it. But
Okay.
once you learn that process, you apply that process to every patient that you encounter. And it actually, really it's your guide. It becomes much
Okay.
easier. So that part is not the hardest. Honestly, the hardest part is finding your preceptors, kind of hitting some of those requirements, but
Mhm.
the content and all of that, is not as difficult because you're not starting from a base of zero knowledge like you were when you were a layperson going right into nursing school.
Right. Okay.
So I think I think it's a little easier. You take this program, definitely. It's a little bit I don't want to say scary, right? Because scary is not a bad thing, but you really take it seriously because now um you are that person making that decision, right? About what
Mhm.
happened in the treatment for this person. And that's you and your decision making. Whereas as a clinical nurse, somebody else has made that decision for you.
Yeah.
You understand what the treatment is, and you are doing certain tasks that are within your role and responsibility to do, right? So that sort
Mhm.
of responsibility is not on your shoulders, whereas this is on your shoulders, and it feels a lot more heavy. Um,
Mhm.
but again, if you kind of follow that process, and then realize like you're not going to be taking on like you know um, the most sick patients, right?
Yeah, the most different. Yeah.
You're going to be dealing with your long-term chronic conditions,
Mhm.
some of your basic primary care stuff, your preventative medicine, that sort of thing, right? So you're not going to be solving these
Mhm.
medical mysteries. So don't let it intimidate you in a sense, but just know that like you can refer when it goes beyond your scope. But for the things in your scope, you just use that process, that decision making for every
Okay.
encounter, and that helps you. So it's just if you shift your thinking from clinical nurse to a
Like I had
practitioner.
to do when we did
Mhm.
LP and RN. We had to shift from to
Yeah,
do more so
yeah,
why I'm
Right.
doing it.
Yeah.
right. So
And I
And
that's
think with
and
all.
RN, our RN experience is going to help us a lot because I know me personally, I find myself when I'm paging the doctor about something, I go ahead and put in there what I want my patient to have, or I go ahead
Mhm.
and suggest something. You want me to go get EKG? Their
Yeah,
rhythm is RVR. You want an EKG? You want chest X-ray? You want me to stop this drip that you have going? I think that may be affecting it. So I think me and Taya do well because we kind of like already have that RN experience of working in med surg, give us a diverse
oof,
population of diagnosis
baby,
of different types of patients. So we
baby.
always dealing with something different. So I think that'll give us a leg up. I'm excited.
Yeah,
yeah,
me too. And I know that some people ask, well, why didn't you just go to school to be a doctor, or why don't you go to school to be a PA? I do not want to go to school and be a
Yeah.
doctor at my big age.
It's 8 more years, and the PAs I'm hearing are more some in some areas more restricted as far as what they can do independently versus an
They,
NP. Still,
they all, yeah,
yeah.
and with
They have to be
PAs, they
supervised.
always have to work under a physician.
hmm
Oh well, they're physician
It's a-
associates now. They're not physician assistants
they're
anymore.
not assistants now; they're associates.
oh,
Physician associates. But
Mhm.
still,
okay,
but they are still supervised more heavily than nurse practitioners. So
yeah,
um, the only difference between a nurse practitioner and PA in terms of like the nature of the work is that your your PAs can cut and do surgery. Nurse practitioners don't cut and don't do surgery typically. So That's one difference. But then depending on the state that you're in, you can practice independently, or you may have to be supervised fully or supervised to some degree. So, like, I'll give you an example. Like, I think Virginia, you can practice independently after you've been supervised for a couple of years. Whereas some
Oh,
states,
okay.
like Georgia, you may have to be supervised all the time. And then some states, like Maryland, you can practice independently from the beginning, right?
Oh,
Well, that's
Lots of things.
different because I know at one
Yeah.
point it wasn't, they weren't doing that at all. But that's also like the NP because at one point they weren't doing that at all either. So you have to make room for the doctors that are retiring,
mhm.
aging out of the field, or whatever it is. So you have to figure out where you're going to get these people from because there are definitely more nurses
Yeah,
around than there are doctors. So,
yeah.
it's like you're going to have to deal with the influx of the aging population. People are living longer.
Mhm.
It's just so many different things that go into that. Um, and physician assistants, they actually use a medical model. So they focus on the testing, diagnosis, and treatment of the disease that the patient has, and nurse practitioners train on the nursing model, where they focus on testing, diagnosis, and treatment of the patient with the disease as well. But like I said, their PAs are trained under a medical model, and nurse practitioners are trained under a nursing model.
I
Okay.
almost did a PA program. This
Did
was,
you?
yeah, when I was deployed, I had an opportunity to apply for a physician assistant program, because it was started by the Army. It was actually that is where that position
That's
was
where they
born.
came from, right?
Yes, it came from the Army because during wartime, they needed providers really, really quickly. So what they did is they took people and they gave them all the didactic portion for 1 year, and then the second year, they put them in the field to work. Like, it's wartime. You got a hands-on learning. You're gonna learn on the job. And so
Mm.
that's why the PA program is like it's a 2-year program, 1 year learning, the second year all hands-on. And I was gonna do that with the Army, and then I changed my mind for some other reasons because of, my career path with, getting commissioned. So I delayed it, but, yeah, I almost did that one. But,
And they're
it
less they're
worked out the way it needed to.
and there are less PA schools than there are nursing schools as well.
Right, and the PA
Okay.
school used to be a diploma program. It used to be,
Yes.
2-year, and I was actually gonna do one of those before this was before the deployment, right? I was gonna do a PA program, but I had already started my bachelor's degree program, and I said, "No, I don't wanna leave a bachelor's degree in public health to go do a diploma program," right? That sounds
Mhm.
backwards, but
Right.
had I done it, I would have been grandfathered in and would have,
Ex-
yeah. I should have
exactly.
I should have done it, but because I didn't know and I didn't have the right guidance, I was like, "Oh, okay, I'm not gonna do this PA program," and then the opportunity came up in the military like I just described, and I still passed it up, and then kind of just did the nursing route. So, it's like, I took, like, that scenic route? Yeah, I was
Right.
on the scenic route
Exactly.
a long time.
Yeah, and I think for me, at one point I was looking into PA school as well, but child, it was the chemistry that really just,
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
just thinking about the basic requirements, like the organic chemistry.
Yeah.
I was like, I mean, chemistry, Gen Chem almost, unalive me. And I'm like, organic Kim. Oh, I'm flatlining before I even walk through the door.
So, the thing with the PA program, it was, when it was a diploma program, all you needed was certain prerequisites, right? And I think it was like general chemistry, math, and just a couple of other things, and then everything else you would learn in the program. And then when that program got popular, that's when they started upping the prerequisites, and then they changed it from a diploma program to a master's program. So, then the entry into that program got, definitely more competitive. It got harder to get in. So that program has evolved over the years.
Yeah, and I remember that there was a program, and I want to say it was out of Miami, and they were like one of the last programs to offer an associate's degree in a PA program. And I was like, darn, like it's one of the things, if I knew what I knew now, if I knew then what I knew now.
Now you got to pay, 4 times the amount, go through all kinds of stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. And then with the PA, I think, do you have to recertify every like 2 to 4 years or something? Like I want to say they
I
have to
don't
take a
know.
test.
I don't know how they do it, but for us, you either do your continuing education or you take the test every 5 years.
Yeah, and I want to say for them, they actually have to take a
The
test.
test.
Like there is no
Mhm.
option to do CEUs. Like
Now
they had to take a test.
that's that medical model, right?
Yeah,
So the medical
yeah,
model, where the physicians have to sit, their board exam, part of it, not all of it, part of it is live and in person. It's not a
yeah.
test. And so like with us, it's a sit down exam. So yeah,
Hmm.
that's that
How many
difference. But
questions is it the same as the NCLEX? Just shut off when you're
um
finished, or how does that work? I mean, shut off when you
no,
pass.
no, it doesn't do that, but it's that test is tough. I will say though that I felt like it asked a lot of questions that like I had never heard of this in my life. Like, what are you, like that's not that's not in our scope. So the test was definitely challenging, but when you guys get time, when it's time for you to start prepping for boards, I'll tell you about this nurse practitioner who, turned educator, and she's amazing, absolutely, absolutely amazing. I follow her on Instagram just because of, just the type of content she puts out on a regular basis.
Okay, I like
Great at
that.
what she does, and she makes learning so simple, and so she's a great person to study for board preparation and all of the other, because you're going to hear all of
A
the
lot of
other.
stuff. I've heard leaks, and
I
I've heard
mhm.
other stuff.
I don't even recommend that. Latrina Walden, and that's
Oh,
the
I
board.
don't know. You said
Latrina
you've heard
Walden.
of leaks? What is
I guess I'm
leaks?
saying it right. I know it's
Yeah,
LEIKS.
yeah, not a S,
Okay.
Leik. She's just a nurse practitioner that has a board preparation. There's tons of others.
Yeah.
There's
Okay.
Hollier, Hollier. I got one of her books sitting right here. Um,
So I want to pass the first time, like I did my
yeah,
LP and
so
the RN.
yeah, the first time you're gonna go with Latrina Walden and
Okay.
pay for her course, go over her material, and just go in and get it done. I wish I had known
Okay.
that the first time around. Um,
Mm-hmm.
so yeah.
Now that you're talking about boards, so I do know there's two certifications. Because I think my friend, she's an NP. I have several friends on NPs, but the one that lives here with me, you can either get you know what I'm talking about, Carrie.
Yep,
It's
the
AA.
AANP or the ANCC.
Right. What's the difference? Like, which one should we get when we get ready to
No
sit down?
It's no difference.
Oh, okay.
It's no different. I took AANP.
So
Um,
not one is easier than the other, the same.
I don't think so. I mean, I just I'm not sure why I took AANP versus the other one. I heard just talk of, and it got confusing, right? Because you'll hear other
Mm-hmm.
students say, "Oh, take this one because this one is more uh,
Recognize or something like that.
straight." Not really, but like the questions on the exam, like this
Oh,
one's more
okay.
straightforward, this one's more this, and I'm like, you know what? Either test is going to challenge you, to your
Right.
core. And so I just went AANP, and just did that. Um,
Okay.
I don't think I have an opinion either way for which one you take. I think I have more of an opinion, like I said, about how you prepare.
I know. I've just heard that it's a tough test.
Mhm. Yeah.
Okay.
But I
Yeah,
like challenges, and I study when it's time for me. I mean, when I was out to take my RN boards, I had a job to where I could study. I was a private duty peds at that time, so I would get my kid, meds done, get him in position, and I'm sitting there just waiting on the clock. So I was doing Saunders for content. So I was reading content every day, and I did 100 Kaplan. Kaplan had me ready. I did 100 Kaplan questions every day, and I always wanted to read why was this the correct answer, so that I can understand the rationale. I had another book, RN for Dummies. I was ready. When I took that
Yeah.
RN test, I didn't even know I was taking a real test because I was just zooming through the questions. And there was, you get the first 10 practice questions. I was like into the test and didn't know it. And when it shut off, I just felt like I felt like I failed because I was going so fast and it wasn't hard to me. So I remember getting in the car and Justice was like, "What you think?" And I said, "I failed. That's it. I failed." He was like, "Why you say that?" I said, "I rushed that test. It wasn't hard. I was just going through the question. I think I messed up." And he was like, "No, you didn't. You passed." And I got home. I couldn't wait. I did the Pearson View trick right away. I just had to
Mhm.
know. And it took me to the thing that said, "At this time, this applicant has already tested." I said, "Oh, shoot, I passed." I was so happy. Then I got
Yeah.
my Pearson results, a couple of days later, but
So with
we
the
don't do it.
NP boards, you will find out before you even leave the testing center. Um,
Really?
yeah, you will find out right then and there.
Wow, my gosh.
It takes about 5 minutes after you test.
Oh, my goodness.
And they will let
Oh,
you know before you leave. It's the most agonizing 5 minutes. But you'll know, and then
oh, God.
the test is like, I think it's 150 questions if I
Oh,
remember
that's not
correctly.
bad.
Yeah, it's 150, but they can be a little lengthy, right? Because you can get scenarios.
Situation like questions.
Yeah, they're gonna pose a clinical situation to you. You know,
Oh, God.
a patient, a male patient, age 81, comes in with complaints of blah blah. So it's a little more reading
Okay.
to kind of do, and then they might give you like an EKG strip. Like there's
Hmm.
different types of questions in here. So all
Lord,
of the
don't give me no ABG. I don't
all of the nursing strategy that you use for the NCLEX
hmm
don't necessarily apply to this test, right?
Oh,
So
Lord. I got to
with
change my whole thought process.
yeah, so with the NCLEX, it was more about, if you were unsure, pick the safe answer. What is about patient safety, right? That was how you passed the NCLEX. Always think patient safety. With this one, it's just a different ball game. It's you. I think that doing a bunch of questions isn't going to help you, right? You have to know the content. So, and that's why I keep saying Latrina Walden, because she's going to drill the content into you in a way that you can remember it, in a way that makes sense. And she fills in all of the holes from, just from the didactic portion, right? And so if you know your content and you're strong on that, however they pose the question, you'll be ready for. So there's not necessarily a strategy for the question. It's really going to just be content.
Oh, Lord Jesus. Can I get to the finish line? Hello?
Yeah.
I don't know. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
I don't know what happened to Tawanda, but
Yeah.
listen, I'm just trying to get to the finish line. I'm just trying to get to, all right,
First
it's
things
time to
first.
go take this
Yep.
test. Let me see. Hold up. Let me get Tawanda back. Hello.
Hey, I pushed something on my phone.
It's all right. Samantha Forbes, thank you for the super sticker, love. We appreciate it. Carrie, how long have you been a nurse practitioner?
Let's see. I got my license at oh my goodness. was it 2018 or 2019? I can't even remember.
It, what,
Because
it was 2018, I think. Or was it
no,
2019?
I
No, it was
finished
cold.
school.
It was February of 2019.
Yeah, because I finished school in 2018, had the
Yep.
graduation in 2019, and then later in the year in 2019, I got the license, and then I remember the pandemic happening not too long after that. So yeah, it was 2019.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's
So
2019. Yeah.
4 years now.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Time flies when you're having fun.
Mm-hmm.
Well, all right, ladies. I thank you so much. Does anybody have any comments or questions? That's what I meant. Shoot, comments or questions. Does anybody have any Never mind.
Hey,
You know
Tay,
what I mean.
while they're deciding if they have any questions, I remember on some other live of yours, there was somebody that was in the comments that were saying that they were a hospitalist.
Uh-huh.
Well, you might want to try to figure out who that person was, and maybe they'll kind of identify themselves again. But I think they did. I think they said they were a critical care NP,
Mm-hmm.
and I want to say maybe it was a Sora, and I
Oh,
don't know the
hell.
name. Somebody who
Okay.
said somebody who said they worked ICU critical care, and I want to say they were an NP. So
Child, I
maybe you want
don't
to fill out
know.
an ATB for that person. See who they were. Just might be
Look,
a good.
that was probably many lives ago.
No, it wasn't that long ago. It wasn't that
Look,
long ago. It was as you were talking. I mean, recently, as you were talking about grad school.
hold tight just a second. Hold on.
Okay.
Y'all can still talk. I just gotta do something.
Oh, okay.
Oh, because I have a question for Carrie. So we used to hospitalists. So would that be what we're considered as NPs working in the hospital setting?
Not necessarily, because you could be you can find yourself in the hospital as an NP doing rounds.
Mhm.
If you're in primary care and your patient gets hospitalized, so you could
Okay.
have privileges at a hospital to
Mm-hmm.
do rounds there. But the hospitalist is actually somebody who, I don't know if I'm getting this right, but they are that resource that is assigned for that particular shift, right? So maybe
Okay,
like,
gotcha.
you know how you'll have like a nocturnist. So at
Mm-hmm.
night shift, you're gonna have like that person that is available to come to the floor, if something's
Okay,
going on.
gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
So Susan Miller said we have 2 NPs, GI hospitalists. So yeah, I knew that there were some APRNs in the comments before. I just
Okay.
didn't know the names. And there may be someone else. So she said
So
there's
real
2.
quick, I have another guest that stopped by. This is Sarah. You remember Sarah from the camp, Tawanda.
Sarah?
Sarah, that was in a tent with me, that was on TikTok rapping.
Sarah. Yes,
She's
yes.
getting ready to join the live with us. All right,
Okay,
hold
yeah, I
on a
remember her.
second. Sarah,
How is everybody?
we are good. Sarah, how are you, love?
Oh, I'm well. I've been cleaning out my garage all day, so really glamorous stuff over here.
Oh, it sounds amazing. I'll be doing something similar tomorrow.
Oh. So
I
tell me
have
what
got
this
to
is tonight.
tackle this bedroom. Let's see. Can you hear me, Sarah?
I can.
Okay, so Sarah and I met in California at the immigration camp for the kiddos. And she has her doctorate in nursing practice. So that's
Correct.
Dr. Sarah on the line.
That's me.
That's you. And Sarah, what type of environments have you worked in as a nurse practitioner?
So I have done the operating room. I've worked in urgent care, primary care, mental health, and oncology.
Wow.
Woo!
well-rounded.
Yes.
Mm, that's a lot. Like, and how long have you been a nurse practitioner?
Since I graduated with my MSN in 2015.
Okay, 2015.
She's got some years on this.
Okay. Oh, Jesus. My
So
God.
I have a question then, Sarah. So all of those different specialties. So did you have to go get like a certification in psych or different things to be able to care for those different populations?
Yeah. So when I worked in mental health, I was under a physician and just did OTJ, but I just recently got accepted back to Duke, which is where I got my DNP from, for their PMHNP program.
Okay. I'm hearing a lot of NPs do that. They go back and get that certification in psych because it
It
seems
is
to be
just, it is just so
more
highly sought
marketable.
after right now.
Yeah, that's what I'm hearing. I don't like psych per se, but I've always had an interest in exactly what the patients are displaying, and I really like to get one-on-one and ask them, like, what are you really seeing something, or what, what's going on?
Yeah.
I've always been inquisitive,
Right.
but I've always been scared too of that environment.
It is, and I feel like a lot of people feel that way and tend to kind of stray away from it, and that's
Yeah.
why there's been such a mass exodus of providers. People are retiring and nobody's coming into the field, so there's definitely a gap as far as providers go.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And so also we just have another person that just joined the live. One of my great friends, we'll call her Miss S, and I say S for sassy. Hey, Miss S, how you doing, love? Can you hear me? I see you, but I can't hear you. All right. Well, maybe she
Hello.
can. Hey, there you go. How you doing?
Hey, how are you?
I am well. Somebody
I
has a
know
little
that
bit of
voice.
feedback in the background. So it might need to be muted for just a second until you're ready to talk or whatever. I'm sorry. I don't know who that was. But so thank you, Miss Sassy, and thank you, Sarah, for coming on. And Miss Sassy is a current FNP student, and she will be graduating next year. So it's great to have you here. It's great to have Sarah here. Sarah has worked in everything.
I heard.
So, Sarah, would you be available to precept?
Well,
Right.
Slide
so
that in there.
I just opened my own practice here in Florida. I don't know if anybody's in
Yeah.
Florida.
Awesome. We'll travel.
Look, whatever it takes, whatever got to be done. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to get my hours.
And
I'm trying to
if we have to pay,
learn.
we'll pay. I'm hearing that's what some students are having to do. And I'm going to invest in myself. So I do what I have to do.
There it is. And Miss Sassy, actually, have you started your have you started your preceptorship yet?
No, not yet. That starts February the 24th, but I am in the process of getting ready for immersion and taking the 3 Ps. So, yeah, I'm getting ready. They start getting us ready kind of early. So, I actually have a preceptor here. So we'll see. I have to meet with him and see how that goes. But I'm super excited.
Casey, that
Awesome.
the computer shaking free.
What did you say, Tawanda?
I'm talking to your nephew.
Oh, okay.
He asked me to put his
Now,
milkshake in the fridge a little while ago, and I totally forgot. So,
okay. I was getting ready to ask a question, and I'm totally like, I do not remember. Now, Sassy, how long was your program?
It is 2.5 years. Well, let's see. I started last June. So my last day of class is going to be September 23rd of 24.
Okay.
So what is that? June. Like almost a little over 2 years.
Like,
Yeah, a
yeah.
little over 2 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
26, 27 months, something like that.
Yeah. And
Okay.
then I'm headed back immediately after that for my DNP. So
Oh.
Oh, Jesus.
I know. I know.
Listen, Sarah, did you do a BSN to DNP or did you do a uh, uh, shoot, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Master's first and then DNP.
yeah, I did. I got my master's first, and then went on and got my DNP.
Yeah, that's what I feel like I'm gonna have to do too. Cause ooh,
Y'all on
really?
your own with that
Well,
one.
it was nice because I was able to start making that NP money while I was
Right.
going to DNP
Right.
school.
I
Yeah,
don't
that's
have
the
it in
reason
me.
I would do it.
I don't have it in me.
I don't
To
think
do
I'm
the
interested
DNP?
in DNP.
I have 2 masters. I just can't even imagine
What are your
scraping
masters
together
in?
clinical nurse leader, and then family nurse practitioner.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think if I had 2 masters, I probably would have tapped out too.
I know. Yeah, same.
It was
Yeah,
unnecessary children. Yeah.
Hey,
yeah.
when does your program start?
It starts next month, the end of the month.
That's fantastic.
I know. I told you when I talked to you last that I had to get my ass in gear
Yep.
and that I was prepping to go ahead and go full throttle like I had to because I didn't waste time, but I just had so much time that I was dealing with other stuff. And then I realized, you know what? Life is going to life regardless.
Hmm.
Yeah.
And things are going to happen that may sway you to stop. But you just have to keep your eyes on the prize and look towards the end of the tunnel and say, you know what? I'm going to get there. And that's it.
Yeah, I agree. Time's going to pass whether you do it or not.
Hint, hint to Wanda.
Yep, that's what I said to you.
It's just that I
Yeah.
get now when I sit down to do something, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna put my all in it. Even through BSN school, WGU was like at our own pace. It was a 6-month term, and you had 4 classes loaded, but you can pull in. Can y'all hear me?
Uh-huh.
You can
Mhm.
pull in as many as you wanted. So I would do my I probably would do 2 classes, and then I would just be sitting there just chilling. And Justice would be like, "Are you still in school?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I got time." And he's like, "I haven't seen you work in a week." But one thing about it, when I sit down to do that paper or to do it, I'm not going to go to sleep. I'm going to sleep for an hour. I'm going to wake up. I'm going to be at that computer. I'm going to get it done and I'm going to ace it. So my thing is just sometimes I procrastinate and I really need to stop because I know my potential. And I'm kind of scared to go ahead and start school because I got a lot that I want to do. I'm going to open an assisted living facility. So I'm in the process of writing those steps down and getting that application process started. I want to write a book. I want to come out with an eczema product because I can't find a product to help me. So I need to make my own. I just can't find a lotion for my itchy skin and I'm just always irritated. So I said, well, shit, I'm going to, create my own product. Um, I get overwhelmed. And then as Tay can tell you, these boys of mine, well, one in particular, he just been acting up lately. And I let that bother me. And I get so worried and stressed and I don't know. Then I feel selfish sometimes. Like, okay, I need to stop doing what I'm doing for me and I need to just make sure they're okay. Tay gave me a good little pep talk today. It's like, so all this stuff is gonna happen regardless. You got over, you know, I don't know if you
This is
remember at the camp, I was going through something at that time.
mm-hmm.
It got over, the situation happened and we're good now. So I know I can do it. I just gotta I like being organized. An organized person. I don't like nothing, I just want to be focused. I don't want but I know things are gonna happen. So just gotta stay focused and get it done. And I'm mad at myself because I was actually planning to do it right after I got my BS in 2018. And I was like, no, let me take me a break from school and da 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 da. So I guess that was God sending Tay over here to tell me, let's go. Let's do it together. Let's go.
And I'm really excited because anything that I've ever done regarding education, I always, did it by myself. I never had the support of a friend, except for when I met Carrie. Like, we really depended on each other a lot in our grad school program. And so that was like the closest I've ever gotten to really like having somebody that's going to roll with you through the
Mm-hmm.
program. And I think in my associate's degree program, I wound up, meeting a really cool student in my last semester. So, we didn't have
Mm-hmm.
that time to bond, but we still stay in touch with each other because,
Mm-hmm.
I'm still like a sounding board for her, and we still have, those conversations and,
Mm-hmm.
those pep talks. Like, girl, you better get on out there and do whatever you got to do. And, she's faced some challenges in school, but she didn't let that stop her,
Mm-hmm.
preceptor issues. She had to sit out. She had, she's gone through a lot. So I know that
Mm-hmm.
once she gets this degree, that it is going to be like the most amazing thing
And
for
yeah, a
her.
lot. Mm-hmm.
It's going to mean a lot. Even her getting her bachelor's and her associates, it meant a lot. Like, and for her to, like, I don't think I know of anyone that's taken the NCLEX that many times. I think she took it 12 times.
Oh my gosh.
Took it
Well, she
12
passed
times.
it.
Hmm?
I said, and she eventually passed.
Yeah, she eventually passed. But I also feel like sometimes we are our own worst enemies
Mm-hmm.
because a lot of the time, she, like, pretty much all of us that were in the program together, it's like all of us pretty much were working in a lot of different environments.
Mm-hmm.
She was working in a skilled nursing facility, and guess what? She's still working in that same skilled nursing facility. So she literally has no knowledge of life outside of a skilled nursing facility.
It sounds like one of my friends, and she will not come to the hospital. I've tried to get her to just come. No, she wants to be in her unit manager position at the long term care.
Hmm.
And she works it. She's good at it. So
And then she said she wanted to start traveling after she got her NP. I said, travel is what? A CNA? I said, you ain't, I mean, unless you were to go work at another skilled nursing facility, no, you're gonna have to get some
right.
experience.
Yeah, you gotta get some hospital experience to travel. 'Cause most of it is hospital.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or something.
Hmm.
Something. Now,
I mean,
Sarah,
I'm
are
not
you
gonna lie.
doing
I got a lot of that's why I learned a lot of my RN skills. Well, I wasn't an RN at that time, LPN. A lot of my nursing skills is when I was an LPN because I just jumped right in it. Had this nursing small nursing home, and I walked right into trach and trach care and
ooh,
peg tubes and seizure disorders. I had a girl, she had seizures every day. I got into knowing what to do with that, and she had cerebral palsy, and I developed wound care. I mean, stage 3 wounds I could put my fist in. So I got a
oh,
lot of experience, and I
I'm
was
about to pass out.
a little intimidated. And I remember something happened. I think a doctor might have yelled at me, and that was my first time ever crying. And I went into the office, and I was so hurt. And she said, and I'll never forget this nurse, her name was Cindy. I wish I can go find her in Texas. And so we were up there with Justice Station in Killeen. And she said, look at here. She grabbed me by my arm. She said, you are a good nurse. She said, but from this day forward, I need you to get a backbone. She said, you don't let him talk to you like that. You can tell him that you're gonna hang the phone up, and when you can talk to me respectfully, we can talk. Other than that, we're not going to discuss anything. This is your patient I'm calling you about. And I never forget when she told me that. It happened overnight. I did. I got I'm already a firecracker, but, I was trying to keep it professional. I'm like, I didn't know that I can tell him kind of
Yeah.
off in my nasty, don't talk to me like that.
Doctors are
And
not our
I
fathers.
did.
Right.
Had a lot of skills, like, when I got my LPN back in 2003.
One thing that I always used to tell nurses when I would precept them is to be successful in this field, you got to have 3 things. You got to have a brain, a backbone, and a voice. Because
Mhm.
otherwise, you're going to get walked all over.
I like that. Hmm.
Look,
And I
Sarah be
always
over
keep
here
telling
preaching.
myself, and I keep telling people, when I become a provider, I know how it feels to be, doctors, some of the arrogant ones, they get nasty with you, yell at you. And I just keep telling myself, I'm not going to be that way. Now, if you call me about something stupid, you're not calling me about a PRN that's already ordered. I've ordered something for that. It might be a little annoyed, but I don't want to be that kind of provider because I know how it feels. I'm sure we all do as nurses at some point.
Look, being scared to call the doctor, like, Lord Jesus.
Honey, I'm telling you, when I called that doctor back, and there was another after this happened at the hospital, and this doctor was known to be an a-hole, but I wasn't prepared. I didn't have all my ducks in a row when I called him. So you bet your bottom damn dollar, when I called him again, his patient's name, his birthday, his allergies, his latest labs, the last note, last set of vitals, he couldn't ask me shit. I was running it off to him, and he gave me what the order was, and he didn't have to question me about nothing. I didn't give him a chance, honey. I was ready. I learned my
Mm,
lesson. But that's
If you
kind of
think
doctor that he is. He's like, I'm not there. Tell me more about the patient. I was like, oh shit. But whenever I had to call him back again about anything, hemoglobin 6.9. The last one was blah 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 blah. I see he got a unit of blood on this. Da, 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 da. I had it all laid out. Mm-mm. You ain't finna keep down yelling at me because hey, I may end up getting fired.
period. Sharia, Sassy. I don't know. I think Sassy's gone. I don't see her. But I forget what I was getting ready to say. Lord, I'm telling you, when I tell you my mind is somewhere everywhere, I think I'm just so excited about getting registered and getting my login. So I have to do that tomorrow. I'm excited. I
Oh, okay.
think that's what it is. I'm really excited about it. I'm really excited. So it's
Oh,
time,
okay.
and we're gonna get through this. And hey, white coat ceremony for me.
Yes, ma'am. And I'm gonna practice, hey, walking in my heels. I can't walk in, but I'm gonna be ready for that day. I'm gonna be strutting, honey.
Oh, look, I might be wearing some sneakers. Mess around. I'm like, I ain't doing
That
all this
part,
with
because I'm gonna be
y'all.
jumping. So hey, I might not be able to wear those heels.
Hey, but I'm ready. I'm ready.
Yep.
So I forget what I was getting ready to ask. I feel like I was going to ask Sarah and Carrie something.
You
Oh,
started to
so
say, hey,
what?
Sarah.
Yes. So do you have any advice for us going into school? Sarah, you go, and then I'll ask Carrie. Well, I'm gonna. This the same question for both of you.
So I'm going to let Carrie go first because they're shooting off firecrackers in my house and it is so
Oh,
loud.
darn. Okay. Well, Carrie, go first.
there's still 4th of July in over there.
Every
Look,
Thursday
they
in
investing
Destin.
that beautiful water.
I think my advice would just be like kind of what I was saying earlier is, look for your preceptors as soon as possible, build your network, talk to everybody you can in advance so you can line up your preceptors. And then really just focus on the method that you're being taught on how to interview your patient and how you get to the point of making a diagnosis and treating and memorize that process, and just
Mhm.
repeat that process, rinse and repeat for every person, and it's going to guide you the way you need to help them. So, and
Okay.
just kind of let other things go and just really be receptive to the new things that you're learning, and you'll get what you need to be successful.
Okay. Thank you. I like that.
Yeah, I like that too. It's good. I like it.
Okay, I think we're good here. um, so that first week that you start school is going to be so overwhelming, and just recognize that it is all new. The platform that you're going to be using for school is going to be new. All of your teachers are going to be new, and it's going to seem so overwhelming, and you're going to feel like, what the F did I get into?
Mm.
But just a month into it, you are going to feel like a natural. But the best advice that I have is actually after school, when you finish for boards, is to, there are a lot of programs for what you can do to study for your boards. And I recommend, this is all that I used, was the Maria Leak program, Leik, Maria Leak. It's a woman, you go on, it's like a 3-day intensive, and she guarantees passing, or you get to retake her course for free. And that is literally the only thing that I read. I read her book from cover to cover and passed boards the first time. I know that like Fitzgerald is out there, and I feel like she gives
Yeah, I heard of that.
wonderful, but gives a ton of information, way too much than you need for boards, where Maria Leak is just so concise, and it just tells you this is what you need to know for boards very specifically.
Is it a
And
virtual lecture she does, or in person, or?
So she does in person and she does remote. I did mine remote.
Okay.
Now that reminds me of who was it? Was it Kaplan that had a review program?
Yes.
And they
Yeah, they
had the
had a 3-day.
guarantee?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
You said the name is
Yeah.
Maria Leak.
Maria Leak is her name.
Okay. Thank you.
And then Carrie was telling us about someone else.
Latrina Walden. So
Latrina Walden.
Latrina Walden is highly, highly recommended. I did all the other ones: Holier, Leak, Fitzgerald, and Latrina Walden is what got me through.
Okay.
And you know what? Like, I know when I was reviewing for, the boards and stuff, I struggled with that a lot. And, so many books were out there with so much information. My head felt
We get
like a
overwhelmed.
thesaurus, and it was extremely overwhelming for me. So when I was sitting there in front of the computer, it's like, what am I looking at? Because this is none of the stuff that I read. And I went through the Kaplan review, and then because it was the guarantee, I went back to the Kaplan review. I felt worse than I did before I even took the first review. And it was very difficult. But the book that wound up working for me was the Pearson View nursing book. Like, that review book was so on
I think I
point.
had that one too. I had about 4 or 5 different resources.
Yeah. But there were a lot of them, and it's like, it's so much information.
And honey, I use mnemonics. I had a book, The RN for Dummies. I'll never forget what my Addison's patient looked like. She was skinny. She was popping up all this sweat. She was running so fast. I'll never forget, And then I use mnemonics to remember a lot of that stuff. And it's crazy how you remember, but that's how I remember some of it.
That's Sharia. I forget dang it. You know what? I'm over here having real brain farts. I know what it is. Because I love all of you. And I think you all have such, a wealth of knowledge that you bring to the table. So many years of nursing experience, so many different types of nursing, and when I listened to Sarah and she was running off the stuff she did, I was like, whoo, child. Because I mean, even when I talk about the places I've worked and people look at me like, what? Like substance abuse clinics, there were people that were detoxing, the immigration camp settings. I never thought I would work with kids, but I actually like those little kids.
And home health too, like that's your nick too. And you gotta know your stuff to be a home health nurse. You out there by yourself.
Exactly. I mean,
you ain't got no charge nurse, nobody to come ask you, hey.
Right. So, the home health, the hospice and palliative care, corrections. I'm like, dang, I have done a lot. And I've and sometimes I've been nervous about doing it, but I was never afraid to get down and get dirty. So, Sharia, what have you worked in? Because when I met you, you were working at the in the assisted living.
Ooh, child, where you want me to start? let's see. So LPN, I was LPN for about 12 years. The majority of that was SNF, long-term care, hospice, ALF, that type thing. And then when I got my RN, I went into the hospitals, and from there, I've done orthopedics, I've done labor and delivery, I've done mother baby, I've done dialysis, I've done ortho,
Ooh,
I've been unit manager. I'm now at ADON. Yeah. So I thought labor and delivery was going to be my end all,
because we
but
had talked about that.
yes, but and so my initial because I kind of have dragged my foot too on this whole nurse practitioner thing. I should have been gotten this out of the way. I was gonna do midwifery, and then I had so many people telling me that I should just go for FNP, especially since, I have my businesses and things like that. I have the spa, that type thing. So they were like, if you do midwifery, you're kind of stuck right there. And what if you decide you don't want to do that anymore? And delivering babies is not as easy and cake and ice cream like everybody think it is. So I was like, yeah, maybe I should give myself a little more versatility. So that's
I remember when we talked about that, and I was like gung ho too because
yes.
I was like, yeah, I want to do L&D. I want to do L&D, baby. I wanted to do L&D until I was working pre-op, and we had to go and recover the L&D patients.
Yes.
Absolutely not. Never. Mm-mm. Mm-mm.
People don't understand that
Mm-mm.
a labor and delivery nurse, like, that's a lot of work.
It's a
Just
big responsibility.
emotionally, it can be, I mean, it's in any area, okay, when things go bad, they go bad. But 9 times out of 10 in labor and delivery, if it goes bad, it's bad, bad. You got the mother you're worried about, you got the baby or babies. So it's like, yeah, it can go bad. So I settled with FNP, and I've gone back and forth. And I don't know who said it before, but so my original plan was to do my DNP, and then I was like, I had a conversation with someone, one of the nurse practitioners from my job. She was like, "Well, you can still do the MSN, and at least you're already in the field. You're settled. You'll know if you like it or not because it's really no difference in the degrees. Ain't no more money. It's just, you'll
Prestige.
know, right? You'll know if it's what you want." And so I said, yeah, that's true. So that kind of helped me weigh in on the decision just to do my MSN initially. I feel like at the moment I'm gonna go ahead. Again, I heard Carrie say she has 2 masters. So if I was 2 masters, I can promise you it would be MSN for good. I promise you.
And
Well, I
and
have
Carrie, what was your Sharia, I'm sorry if I cut you off. Were you finished?
No, 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 you good. Yes, I'm done.
Okay. And Carrie, what were you doing prior to going and doing the F&P? What kind of nursing settings were you working in?
so internal medicine, occupational health, and then in the hospital telemetry.
Mm. Me and those telly strips, we still
I hate
haven't
it.
mastered the love of each other yet.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yep.
Look,
Yep.
Tawanda tried to get me to go and do this med surge tele contract. I said, absolutely not.
Pat won't
I
do it
said,
either. I said, I'll help you. She was like, no, just straight med surge, no telly.
I
Yeah.
said,
Totally.
I said,
It can be annoying. Like those tele monitor people, I have people, I swear this girl called me one night 20 times. I had to finally tell her, okay, if the patient reverts right back within seconds, don't call me. It's just too much. She just kept calling me. And I had already spoken to the doctor, and he was aware, and the patient would revert right back within seconds. I'm like, you don't have to keep calling.
Yeah.
Something different happens, and yeah, I need to know. But good Lord, girl, stop calling me.
They probably just sat up in bed or something. It's a
mm, mm, mm.
Sometimes you don't have
Yeah.
the sense of monitoring tech. You gotta to
yeah.
be catching your own
Tawanda
stuff.
scared the life out of me. Her and Lakeisha, both talking about, you can do it. I ain't doing it. I am not doing it. No, because but what I do love is that when we do contracts together, is that if I do need assistance, let me tell you, I know I was somewhere.
I think
Oh,
he was in
we
Alaska.
where was I? No, I don't think I was in Alaska. I think I was in New York.
Mm-hmm.
And I was working night shift. Tawanda worked night shift. So it was a couple of us that worked night shift. Lakeisha was working night shift. So we already knew everybody's schedule. We all had the same schedule. So I remember I was nervous about hanging blood.
Yep.
You remember that night?
Mm-hmm. You were so nervous. I said, "Tay, calm down. You got this." I said, "You
Tawanda
can do
talked
it.
me through that
Step
thing.
by step. Prime your little bag. Make sure the other one is locked." And she did it. Tay was rolling after that. I said, "Girl, you got this." And
Oh
then the
my God.
pumps. I think you went somewhere. I mean, because all these IV pumps are different.
They are.
And I think you had an old one. It wasn't a Laris. I think they
It
had
was
something
real
like
old. It was
a
some
plum.
antique mess.
I think it was a plum. And I said, shoot, let's YouTube because I ain't used this thing since I first got to the hospital back in 2009.
Oh
But
my
she did
God.
it. She
So,
did it.
it's great to have amazing resources that you can reach out to, like at a moment's notice, because I was like, Lord Jesus, I don't know how to do this. And these people going to think I'm crazy, but nobody knows everything.
They
Nobody
don't.
knows
Mm-mm.
every pump.
And
Nobody
that's a
knows
scary nurse
every,
that
yeah.
won't ask a question and just want to go ahead and willy dilly. That's a scary nurse. I'm gonna ask some shit because I had a patient the other night that had a nerve block. I forget the name of the medication. Y'all probably know what it is. And it wasn't like a regular PCA. So I got the charger. I said, "Hey, it's time to refill her nerve block med. I need you to come on in here, show me how to put this in here because I've never seen this. I'm not gonna front for nobody." And they know that. She came right in. I had the key. We opened it. We primed the little line. We stuck it in there. We verified the dose, and we was good to go. I'm
Ooh,
gonna add.
Mm-mm-mm. Let's see. Hold on real quick. We had Samantha Forbes. Thank you for the super sticker. Chef Carmen became a new member. Babe, if you are on here, hello. Thank you for becoming a new member. Welcome. Welcome to the Pretty Gay.
Welcome, Carmen.
Thank you for sharing, Brenda. Thank you so much. So, if nobody else has any questions in the comments or anything, then I guess we're going to wrap up. Um, Anybody want to say anything before I end the live?
You guys got this.
All right.
You got it.
Tay, thank you
Yeah,
for having
I
me
keep
on.
wanting to push it back and push it back. Let me just go.
What were you saying, Riri?
I was saying thank you for having me on. I'm sorry I had to pop in late.
It's
But
okay. I appreciate you for coming on. And I'm just super excited for this journey. Like, I've been holding off for a minute because I actually was supposed to go back to school in, I think, 2020. And then COVID hit. And I was like, oh, because I actually started. And I went and I got almost through one class. And because I was working so much, because that's the COVID takeover was real then.
Yes,
So,
ma'am.
I mean, it was 7 days a week. And where I was team lead. So I actually made more money than the regular folk. So, I mean, I was getting only like 4 hours of sleep every night. And because the night lead would have problems with the night shift staff leaving, or she couldn't find them in the facility because they would leave and go back to the hotel. So she would be calling me in the middle of the night, asking me to come up there and help her because she couldn't find her staff. Like, it was real bad.
I
And
heard about that. I saw some people too on camera
yeah,
doing it.
and the CNAs and the nurses were taking advantage of her because she had, she was real meek. and she wasn't gonna say much, but she would complain to me, and I'm like, well, I'm not administration here. Um, you know, it's just a mess. It's just a mess. So that was very interesting. So I would get like, maybe 4 hours of sleep, and then, I'd be back on it again. So it was too much for me because I was taking 2 classes. I think it was either 2 or 1, but it was just always something due. And I was just working, just too much to handle it. So I had to let it go. Mm-mm-mm-mm-mm. All right. Well, I guess that's it for the night.
All
Yes. Good night,
right.
ladies. Good night, everyone.
Good
Good
night.
night.
Good
And I hope
night,
everybody that
everyone.
was on the live enjoyed it.
I did too. Thank you. Thank you.
You welcome. You welcome. All right, loves. Good night.
Bye.
Good
Good
night.
night.